an erect penis has the same amount of blood as an adult rabbit.
That's what I call a thumper.
Welcome to the Truffle Shuffle Podcast.
I'm Clay.
I'm Dylan.
And I am Alaric, behind the keyboard.
Why do we sound like NPR today?
So,
I'm Alaric.
today
We're going to take you on
we
a
are going
journey.
to talk on quite a few things, many of which are shallow and pedantic.
And others may be quite controversial.
And
Yes.
a couple are pedantic and shallow.
Thank you,
just said
Clay, for your
That was the point.
contribution. Now, today, let me start.
Will you stop
The
talking like
timer.
that? You
There we are. The
freaking freak
timer
show.
is rolling.
Clay.
Clay, how are you, sir? We want to
Fantastic.
check in about your mental health. Are
I'm
you
good.
Okay.
Stop it.
Hold on, Dylan. Clay, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down, please.
What is going on?
I can't
This is so uncomfortable.
I can't keep it anymore.
That's what she said.
We
That
just-
was very.
This
very...
was before you got here, Clay. We just said we're gonna do it as monotone as possible until we can't anymore. Just to
Okay,
see
let's
what you
restart
would
because that was awful.
No, that's great.
That's what you're gonna
We're
put it.
rolling.
All right,
We are rolling, baby.
we're putting that one out.
do. All right, welcome to the Truffle Shuffle Podcast, everybody. Today's episode is sponsored by Barron's Barbershop. Now, I think we do have some controversial things to talk about today. Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
All right, I'll get us rolling here. So, we've talked before about like minimum wage and fast food and all that stuff. About how where'd we stand on that? Is that no?
Get our order right
We
two
did.
times in a row.
Get
we
our
did.
order.
Also, we did a lot of research at the beginning, as you can tell, to see what everybody was into. I
People
hate
corrected
fast
us on Twitter, so
hate
that's where
fast
we did our
food
research.
with a passion.
But so now we're moving on. So this kind of stems back to fast food again, but it also is a broader thing. Let's face it, nobody wants to fucking work anymore. And not even that they don't want to work, nobody will work or do anything. The other day I went into you're going to get blasted here, Hothead Burritos in West Carrollton.
No, they're good.
Huh?
They're good.
Not
They
whenever
don't
there's
listen to the show. Who cares?
not whenever there's four 14-year-olds.
it's a potential sponsor, so
Not anymore.
Well, first off, I went into Hothead Burritos for the first time in a long time. Prices went up again.
Welcome
Shocker.
to Dylan's Yelp review. That's all this episode is. He's complaining about Kroger's parking lot, Asian people, freaking Hothead Burritos,
I believe he called him Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drifts, and you people,
No, he was wearing a mask in his car by himself.
and
That.
driving. He was driving while Asian, is what Dylan's trying to say.
At least he wasn't driving.
No, don't say black. Don't say
No,
black.
I was
They
gonna say
cannot
black. I was gonna
say
say-
that.
No,
You brought it up, not him.
I was gonna say woman Asian because that's
Good luck, everybody.
good luck and everybody else.
Well, yep. All right, we're gonna be
Anyway,
canceled after that one.
So
See you
it's
guys
about so I'm working the other day and I go on lunch and it's like I want to say it's only like 7:00. I pull into the parking spot in front of Hothead and I'm looking in because all businesses nowadays they change their hours by the day
later. Yeah, oh yeah.
depending on when somebody wants to fucking work.
Mhm.
And I see like 3 kids behind the counter. And they look like meerkats. They're like popping up, like looking. They're looking around because they're like,
Scurry.
"There's a car in
Sniff.
front. There's a car. Is that for us?" They literally were
Mine?
looking
Mine?
at my car, like, "Don't come in here. Don't come in here." And I walk in, and there's nobody else in there.
Dylan,
And they-
Sorry, TikTok.
I walk in, going, "We
Sorry,
don't talk about Bruno."
Anyway,
But and all of them just roll their eyes. 2 of them scurry back behind, like into the back where you can't see them. And then one girl comes over and she stands like where you start and she doesn't say a word. She doesn't say a word. She just looks at me. And I go, "Hello." And she goes, "Hi." And I'm like, well, we're off to a great fucking
and you're
start.
just being as bubbly as possible. Hello, how are you?
Oh, whenever they do that,
that's my
I'll-
favorite thing to do.
I overdo it. I'm like,
How are you? Are you doing
You match
fantastic?
energy.
Yeah.
I mean, always match energy.
No,
So they
no, no.
answer, hello. You go, Hi, can I get a burrito? Can I get beans? And,
Some
uh,
beans.
Oh no, I flip it.
shrimp fried rice?
No,
You're telling
I'm
me a shrimp
noticing-
fried this rice?
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Anyway, so we go through the whole process, which is the most painfully awkward thing I've ever. Every
Why are you
sing-
winking at him? You,
Called a
you keep
twitch.
winking.
It's called a twitch, you turd. I don't know what
Don't
I'm gonna call it. You bowling ball. I swear,
don't-
son, you are about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Shout out to Tanner.
Shout out to you, Tanner. Are you Fat Boy 937? We'll find out soon enough.
Well, may never know. The truth will come out.
Quick off-topic thing though, for the listeners who do follow, so
Tanner.
Tanner and Kyle, there will be a bulletin board behind me in the upcoming weeks where we will track who Fat Boy 937 could possibly
Oh, yeah.
be. I want to know. I will find you.
The real question is, Dylan. He's only commented once. Where do we start?
We start there.
Okay, what's
We
our
take him
next?
down from
In
there.
order to have a conspiracy board, you
Okay.
need at least 2 dots.
Okay, well,
the name and then the comment.
I was thinking we scan the entire 937 area, go door to door.
He's
And
gonna
see
come in
who's
with
fat.
a map of our county, and he'll just be like
Slapping
Charlie Day
everybody.
from It's Always Sunny, be like, right there, right there, that's him.
It's just
Anyway.
some fat guy walking through Walmart, and Dylan's like, I hate to ask you this, but is 937 Fat Boy your name? And just
Did you go to
slaps
high
him.
school with us?
And that's where he turns around and goes, "It's Fat Boy 937."
And
Hey,
you're like, dun,
I'm just saying.
He's like, juice.
dun, dun.
I'm just saying. Clay might be a suspect.
I don't know how to make 2 freaking TikToks on the same phone, so I would have to make another TikTok.
It literally says sign in with another profile.
Was that TikTok
Oh.
or was that YouTube?
It was TikTok.
That was TikTok.
Tickety tockety.
But see, he called me cool, but he said that you two were douchebags. That's
Two-Face.
it's the perfect cover.
Okay.
Throw
Y'all-
himself under the bus.
Where's that at, Alec?
It's under our main.
Oh, doot.
Turn your volume down, bro.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Manage account. Would you shit if it said
Fat Boy 937.
Well, yeah, he
Damn
hasn't.
it. Well,
How do I
that
do this?
conspiracy went up.
He
in
hasn't
flames.
commented since, meaning that you
Security
deleted
and
the
login?
account.
I don't even see.
All right, so go back.
Okay.
Go back.
Okay.
This is thrilling
Yep.
for our
Go to
audio
your
listeners.
profile. There it goes, right there. Add account.
Fat Boy 937.
I am not. I wish.
Clayton Payne. Fat Boy 937.
Alright, so anyway, we're talking about-
Back onto the topic. That was just
Oh.
Fat Boy. We're coming for you.
We had to take a little trip there.
Inflation. War
in
the
our
Middle
favorite
East.
rocket ship,
Russia.
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 He's a building powerhouse.
Anyway,
Freedom Convoy
so-
2022.
So it takes. That's the whole thing. Is like they're just like they're so pissed off that I came into their business. Not only to mention that then I don't know how old he is, the supervisor or the manager or whatever,
At least 3.
walks out,
I mean, you're not wrong.
talks to his employees like I'm not even there.
Solid.
Out of nowhere, stops her from making my burrito in
Oh,
the
yeah.
middle of making my burrito. He comes out and he looks like he's both 40 and 19 at the
Oh, he got
same
that Benjamin
time.
Button disease, probably.
He got something.
Dear bruh.
But he comes out and this, like I said, this is about 7:30. And he talks about the things that need to be done for closing in the next half hour, even though they're open until 10:30.
I think we need to go to Taco Bell and pay them a visit.
We're
Is
talking
that where it
about-
was?
This is
No, he said
Hothead.
Oh, Hothead. Hothead.
Hothead.
I meant
God
Hothead.
damn
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Goodness.
Sorry,
So
Taco
anyway,
Bell.
Remember,
Not
Taco
a
Bell is
sponsor.
dead to us.
Not a sponsor.
But so my point to get this rolling here is that nobody, no matter how much you pay them, because all these places have increased their pay to get people to come back and work.
We're getting a Popeyes, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
we
so
are.
happy.
We into hood now, boys.
Which is why
Right
their
next to the
prices
check
went up.
cashing place.
How much was it the last time you went to Hothead for a burrito?
It's plus 25 cents. I shouldn't know this. I'm sorry. For chicken.
He knows the
Chicken.
prices.
There's a shortage on chicken, so they were doing like 25 cents more for chicken.
Oh no,
It was
I'm
like
looking-
$8, $7 or $8.
It's over 9 now.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going
It's
right
over
after this.
$9.
It's like between 9 and 10 now for a burrito.
I'm gonna go over there after work or after this and
Clay.
check it out, make sure.
Clay, you're defeating my purpose.
You don't have a purpose, do
No,
you?
I don't.
Yeah, that's why you're in my basement.
You look down. Oh, I don't.
No.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah.
This whole
But
show is about finding our purpose, Dylan.
Oh jeez. But anyway, so
That's life.
that's one of my most recent stories about how no matter what you pay people, they still will not want to work and they will refuse to work. So what do you got?
I have a I'm gonna call it. What did we call that
COVID?
before? BC. Before
BC,
COVID.
before COVID.
There was okay, so they had Taco Bell breakfast come out in I don't even know when that was, a very long time ago, not a sponsor, and it was fantastic. And when I worked third shift, I would get off at 7, and Taco Bell opened at 7, or it said on the door 7.
Yeah.
So I leave my place of work excited. All night I thought about this Taco Bell breakfast. I left, I get there, and I sit, and I'm faced with the menu with the light off, and I'm just sitting there like a fat boy, 937, and I'm just staring at it, and I'm like, I'm going to get the recorded message. I don't care. I just want my freaking burrito or breakfast.
This was at what time?
Crunchwrap. This is at 7. It was like 7:15 because it
And
took.
they open at 7.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's 3 cars in the parking lot. Do the math. They're not open, but they're in there. So I sat there for like 5 minutes. I sat there a little too long, if I'm being honest. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'll pull up to the window and be like, hey, I think your speaker's off or something like that. And there's a lady counting cash at the cash register that's perpendicular to the window, so I can see her like counting the cash, but she's not facing me. And she looks up. She looks up and she
looked
just
at him.
Yeah.
And I looked at her.
So she looks at me and like looks like she is scared. I was like, they're getting robbed. That's what it is, probably, right? And she was like, and then looked back down real quick and counted the money faster. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I was like, okay, well, I'll just go back around and wait again. And then I waited for another 5 minutes. And then the lady comes on the thing and goes, we're closed. I was like, no, you're not. You're definitely not.
The
It definitely
sticker
says-
on the door clearly says,
And I said, what's wrong?
We don't have enough people.
I'm like, there's 3 cars in the parking lot. There's at least 3 people there, maybe 4.
Did you
Someone
carpool?
carpooled. So I left and went to the Taco Bell up the street. I have no shame.
was one of the cars in the parking lot a pickup truck with 3 lawnmowers in the back?
No,
Oh,
that's only in California.
I was about to say, I was like, that's more than one person in that car.
Speaking of California.
Oh, that's very. I can hear everything you are typing.
Well, they can't, so.
Okay, what were you saying?
Speaking of California,
Oh, no.
we were taught Dylan mentions just California one time last night while we were
Oh,
playing
wait.
Fortnite.
No, you guys are all
And
saying.
Clay
No,
freaks
no.
out.
Hold on. I will explain why.
Oh, Jesus.
So Tanner, my boy, he goes, I'm
Possible
sick.
Fat
This-
Boy 937?
He said, I am sick, not from the vid. He's just sick in general. And he's like, yeah,
Just
from
the-
all the
the bug
stuff
that's
changing.
going around.
And then Dylan said, yeah, I'm sick too. And I said, and then he said something about, he's like, but when I was out in California, I never got sick. And I said, I'm sick of hearing about California.
Well,
That's what I was
He
trying
didn't
to
say
say.
it.
There
Stop
was
smacking the table.
context.
He texted it because Clay didn't want to wake up his boo.
Yes. She had to work early this morning.
Yeah.
So.
She wears the pants in the
Yes,
relationship.
she
No,
does.
it's called being courteous.
You never been courteous to us.
Dylan lives with his
jackass.
parents. Okay.
And I don't give a shit if I wake him up.
Yeah, it's not
Sorry.
Until
true at all.
Steven kicks in your door and goes, shut
Steven
the fuck up.
will kill you with a fire
There,
poker.
there are guns in the house.
And they will be used. But yeah, so fast
when,
food.
when we're playing games and I don't have my surround sound headphones on, and outside my door I just hear somebody reloading, I'm like, I gotta-
You just hear the edge of a gun hit your door. Tink, tink, tink. So
There's
yeah.
very distinct differences between my dog scratching at the door and the reloading of a shotgun.
And a
outside
lever
my
action
door.
revolver.
Yeah. So
So anyway, nobody wants to work.
Pretty
even when you
much.
pay. But the thing is like they're getting paid the higher wages
Mhm.
to go back. Lazy motherfuckers.
Well, when you pay people $15 an hour to stay home for 6 months, that's what happens.
Are we still paying people unemployment?
No.
Well, unemployment, yes,
Probably.
but not
There's a lot of people that lost jobs.
not the
just
COVID stuff
from-
anymore.
Yeah, but what
BC.
happened to the whole it was like the thing of like, like when your jobs open back up, if you
You have to go back.
if you decide not to go back, you forfeit all unemployment.
If your
Where did that
position
go?
doesn't
They
exist
didn't
anymore,
enforce it in a lot of places.
Of course they
if
did.
your position
why
doesn't
would it?
exist anymore, I'm pretty sure you still get unemployment.
Okay.
So,
So
that,
let's-
like, say this. Say if the podcast was, or it is a real company. Sorry, the podcast. Say, Alaric, we don't need you anymore. We are only going to do Dylan and I. Then Alaric would get unemployment because his job no longer exists because he was fired.
Yes, but
Laid off.
unemployment, I am completely fine with unemployment because when I lost my jobs from COVID,
Let me just tell you, those 65% of my income from this is going to really come in handy from those unemployment checks,
Yeah, that's like $4.
if that.
Oh shit! No, it's 65% of $4. Thank you, Batman 927.
anyway, so I totally think that unemployment should be like a lot of people say that or not a lot of people.
I don't think it should be a thing.
Okay, right there. See,
I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
no. This is a good thing to talk about.
If you get fired, you should not get any unemployment whatsoever.
I believe in unemployment for a time frame because it was created to help those who need the help in between jobs.
3
That
months.
is the only reason that unemployment should ever exist.
Exactly.
If
But
God
My
forbid,
idea is 3 months.
Say your place
No
of
more than
work,
3 months.
if your place of work burned down to the ground that day
Mhm.
and everybody lost their job, the unemployment should take care of that. But if fuckface over here gets fired because he didn't open up Taco Bell at 7 a.m. for a gentleman back in the day,
Well, easy there, Karen Clay. You're the one who ratted him out.
I'm not
Mm.
Clay with a K.
But I'm all for unemployment for those who actually need it because whenever COVID first hit, you worked right through, didn't
I
you,
worked
Clay?
through it. I was essential.
Alec, did you work through?
We were off for 2.5 months.
But were you off with pay?
Yes.
Okay. My
no,
company.
I mean we were off with unemployment. We had a layoff number.
Okay. So you and me were in the same boat where all of a
Union.
sudden our companies just stopped.
Mhm.
Clay kept going through.
I didn't get shit.
So, but whenever we did stop, rent didn't stop.
Nope.
Of course not.
Also, so I make
everybody would have been fucked if you did not have my last day was on a Friday the 13th actually.
solid.
And
Oh, yeah, I
then
remember that.
Mhm. And then the following Monday is whenever I got a hold of unemployment because I couldn't get through on the weekends.
So
Dude, this is our first episode all over again.
It is. We're back, but now we're actually talking about real shit.
So
We
They-
have 30 followers.
they told us, they're like, okay, we have 4 painters. Yeah, 4 painters. We're gonna lay off 2, and then keep 2. And I was like, guess I'm staying. And we didn't have any jobs. I get paid by the job, so if I don't have any work, I don't have anything to do.
Well,
I don't make any money.
You could make a lot. You make a lot more working than you would have with unemployment.
No, not when
Now when they
Zero
add
is
600
zero.
a week on top
Oh,
of it.
that's 600 a week.
I don't get I didn't get any help at all from the government besides the paychecks.
I was making
or
the
that's
same
paychecks,
amount
the whatever
as
it's
when I
called.
did
Stimulus?
Yeah, stimulus.
I was making the same amount as when I did a 60-hour week at D-Max.
That's ridiculous.
When they added that 600, and everybody always says this is why you have to pay people more because that 600 was more than anybody was making. My unemployment in LA, I believe, was like before taxes, like $230 a week.
I was bringing home like $100 a week.
What?
I was bringing like $100 a home week.
From unemployment?
No, from work.
Oh, from work.
Because
You
I
had
had
nobody
no
coming
hours. Nobody's driving, so nobody's crashing their car, so nobody needs their car fixed. The only people that do were police. We did a lot of police cars, but that's all they call it warranty work, basically.
Did you draw a bunch of penises on them?
No,
Donut.
because Blue Lives Matter. So, so
As opposed to? Say it,
Dylan.
Clay.
All lives.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I just didn't make any money from it. And then I have no offense to my girlfriend. She was laid off because literally her store closed, and she was making probably almost as much as I make when I'm normally working, like
Yep.
right now. And I'm like,
That's because
how
she's better than you, Clay.
are you doing that? Like, why does somebody that's sitting at home get rewarded while you let these people fall by the wayside?
Because the government doesn't know how to manage things at scale.
No.
And it's
The
true.
government is like a child with $10 in the dollar store, and they're like,
Yeah,
"I
they-
bought everything. Oh, it's all gone."
But they're not told no when they try to check out.
Exactly.
So they
So what we're trying
completely
to
overstep
say is
their
we're
bounds.
trying to get rid of the government. The whole power shuts off.
But so you say that there should not be unemployment.
I think it should be like insanely restricted.
I think it should be for a maximum of 3 to 6 months.
You can't say 3 to 6 months and use maximum at the beginning. So like 3
3 months.
maximum 6 months.
I think maximum
Okay.
3 months.
Sure. But it's like,
It's not that hard to go to Taco Bell and get a job. I know. It says on the door they need the help. Like really,
Well,
you can get a job.
like,
People People have high standards right now.
like you should, you should have to reapply every 3 months, and there has to be an actual.
You have to reapply every Sunday.
Yep.
Every other Sunday, or is
No,
it every
once
Sunday?
a week.
Once a week.
You have to apply to 2 places each week.
Is that the actual rule of it?
The
That's
thing
not the
is,
rule,
is they,
that's how you
they
get
don't
it.
they don't mandate that it has to be in your field of interest, right? So like if you have a degree, it doesn't have to be in that. So you can apply at a McDonald's, a different McDonald's,
And just
a
never
different
go.
McDonald's, and when they offer you your low ball answer, you're like, I'd make too much money on unemployment. I don't have to take that.
But see, if we had
And
a
that's how
cutoff,
people sit there and do it.
but everybody's like, oh,
Should be a term
everybody's
limit.
always like, well, the
Not term
government
limit.
doesn't have to give you that money; they're helping you.
They're
Where
not.
do you think the government gets that fucking money?
Me,
Us.
the person that's
Yes.
making 100 while you guys are making 1,000.
If you think we're wrong, comment below. Tell us what we're wrong about.
We know
open
you're
up-
listening.
Let's
FBI.
open up. A debate.
Don't give us a thumbs down because you'll never see our videos again. But give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely think that there should be a cutoff because now, Clay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Clay, but I'm going to have to reference California again. There are quite a few people. There are quite a few people that I know in California. Not really that I know, but that I used to work with
They're different.
are still pulling unemployment.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like you create it where you don't want to work.
Right.
And then
I just
we
think
end up
these
in this-
people are getting lazier and lazier. In the words of Joe Rogan,
Oh no.
it's like hard times make hard men.
No, hard times
Or-
make strong men.
That's what it
Strong
is.
men make good times. Good
Good
times
times
make
makes-
weak men.
yep.
Weak men make strong hard times.
I was
That
talking
was
about
not Joe Rogan.
Well, he
It's
did-
not-
he
he
quoted
said
it.
it, but it's,
So,
it's
I
not
think-
his only
It's not
quote.
his original
I think
quote.
so. That right there is a circle, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
we are right now in.
Good times make weak men. Weak men make
no.
hard times.
We are on the hard times right now.
Yeah, the weak men make
so
hard
as
times.
soon as this comes back around, when something happened, I mean, it's gonna get worse and worse.
I was gonna say, Clay, we're not yet at the hard times.
We're freaking
there.
getting there.
Right,
We're
but
getting there.
We're not
quick.
there yet. So it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better again.
We're getting there quick because of weak men
Make hard cocks.
times.
And now a word from our sponsors. Truffle Shuffle Podcast is brought to you by Barron's Barbershop in West Carrollton. Come on down to Barron's Barbershop if you're looking for quality and a blast from the past with antique stools and registers. Barron has been cutting hair for 3 decades, and he has the skills to style your hair with class. Whether you need a trim or you want to try a whole new style like Alaric desperately needs, Barron is the man with the plan. Make sure you bring cash and mention that Truffle Shuffle sent you. And thank you from our sponsor.
Here it comes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there is another subject we would like to talk about. We're trying to do a couple more controversial type conversations here. Just
not even
interesting conversations. while
Not
we
really
can-
controversial, just shit that we can actually talk about.
And honestly, we literally will sit on video games and say stuff that I wish we could record, which is why we made this podcast.
We actually have a gaming channel, you know that? Like I have the
do we?
stuff for us to record video games.
I'm gonna take this home, and I think we should try it.
What?
We
What is
should-
happening?
So anyway,
I didn't know we had any of that.
in the last. I think it was a month.
Before we get
Oh,
started, though,
go ahead,
let's do
Dylan.
a little. If you're still listening at the 25-minute mark, we do have a new set of videos coming out soon, which we will be recording today. Our favorite segment, Random Shit from the Internet,
It's
is
now
getting
get-
its own video.
Yay!
I like how
I
we
hate
all
when we
did.
announce stuff so much.
We got to advertise for ourselves,
Yeah,
Clay.
that'll be a following video. It'll be its own playlist on the channel.
Coming to a YouTube near you. Anyway, so the next topic we would like to talk about
If you
is
say anyway one more fucking
anyway.
time.
Actually, I've been keeping
anyway,
track.
Anyway,
Hold
anyway,
on.
anyway.
I was gonna defend you, but you're being a dick. So
Anyway,
I
Jeff
was gonna say,
Bezos is what we're gonna
Dylan
talk
has
about
said anyway 3 more times more than you have so far, at least until just now.
Anyway.
Hardcock.
So
What a
the
great
next thing I'd like to
segue.
talk about is over the past few, I think it's been a couple months, it's been happening. So Jeff Bezos is having a $500 million yacht built in the Netherlands. And
It's is it the world's biggest
I
yacht
believe so.
and the most expensive?
I don't think it's the most, it might be.
That's so fucking sad that we have to figure out if
I don't know.
$500 million is the most.
So, no, it's
It's
did I say
not 500
million?
billion. It's 500 million.
Million. Yeah, it's 500 million.
Yeah, half a
So he's building it in a port where it cannot be removed unless they dismantle a freaking bridge.
100-year-old bridge.
Are they gonna put a pig?
No, they
They-
said they're not doing it.
I thought they said they were going to completely tear it down and rebuild it.
I heard they nixed the whole thing.
Well,
Yay!
Sorry, Bezos.
That's what I heard.
Hey,
mean, again,
at least I'm still a supporter on Amazon.
I mean,
I-
what kind of culture does the Dutch really have?
I
mean,
don't research. So.
Weed. Ask me how I know.
How do
Ask
you
me how I
know?
know. I
How
was
do you
in
know?
Amsterdam and it was fantastic.
I'm pretty sure they have a lot of drugs out there too. So, you know.
They also have legal mushrooms. I did not.
Oh, that's a subject. I believe we should
Are we just gonna
not,
glaze over what I
not
was
actually
talking about?
legalize,
Fuck
but
me. Yeah, whatever.
what?
What?
Not actually legalize, but decriminalize all recreational drugs.
At
the federal level.
Hold on, I'm doing some research. There are thousands of protesters who have signed up to throw eggs at Jeff
I've seen that.
Bezos'
I've seen
new
that.
yacht.
That's it?
That's just a way of
Throw
showing.
eggs?
Just a way of showing that you're not
Eggs will
going
screw
to
up
dismantle
paint
this
really
bridge,
bad.
so that your yacht.
Wouldn't it
Can
make
get
more
out.
sense for people to just sign up and say that they're taking shifts not leaving the bridge? Can't tear it down if people are on it.
Yeah. I've seen a few videos of like people trying to block semis. I don't like. I don't think so. I personally listen. Jeff Bezos kind of blows my mind. He's kind of an evil genius. He looks like Lex Luthor. You know.
Dr. Evil.
No.
He's
No,
got the
like-
penis rocket.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor for
Lex
sure.
Yeah, but
Without the
Lex Luthor
wheelchair.
has flair and pizzazz and
Have you seen Jeff
Style.
Bezos' girlfriends after the divorce? Which,
Have you-
by the way, think about that. Hold on, think about that. You're a however much he makes, a billionaire, hundreds of billionaire,
Billions.
and his wife's like, "Hey, I want a divorce," and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, here, just take
take
Oh my-
112 billion.
yeah, here you go." And then somehow he or she goes from being the richest wife or the wife of the richest man
To now,
the
like,
richest
10th
woman in the
person,
world
like the 10th most richest person in the world.
in one sign of a piece of paper. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yep.
Well, that brings up the topic of
Marriage.
billionaires.
Alimony. Let's start talking about alimony. Bitches be cray if they think they getting all my money.
They'd be crunk. Anyway.
What are they gonna, what are they going to take? What are they going to look at us?
In the words of Dave
What are they going
Chappelle.
to take?
In the words of Dave Chappelle, this man had nothing, and that bitch took half of that.
But billionaires, a lot of people think that there shouldn't be billionaires in the world. I don't necessarily say that billionaires don't do shady shit and that they could
Listen.
not do more.
The problem is the government has set it up for billionaires to be able to do shady shit
Mm-hmm.
legally. Jeff Bezos did an interview with, I forget who it was. Somebody asked the question, why don't you pay taxes for Amazon?
Because only poor people pay taxes.
No. He goes,
There's
well,
so many
there
loopholes that they
is-
can legally.
no, he said, okay, listen to me. If you were given the opportunity by the government that it says basically you don't have to pay income tax, would you pay it?
Nope.
No,
Of course not.
I wouldn't either. He's like, so if you ask me to pay for something that I don't have to pay for, and I don't pay for it, that doesn't make me a bad person. That makes the government bad because they gave that opportunity to him.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
if no, it was Bill Gates, I believe. It was either Bill Gates or
This
whatever
guy
his name
who
is, Bezos.
claims he's a fucking doctor now.
So well, I don't.
I
wanna
don't
go
think
into
he
that.
claims he's a doctor. He just acts like he is.
Well,
So
he's
he said,
he's like
"Why
the most,
would I?"
If you Google it, he's like considered the most powerful doctor in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
Hold on, I'm pulling that up.
That
Google it.
freaking nerd.
it's
the
with
computer
the
shuts
whole-
off. Oh my god.
It's with the whole COVID thing. All these billionaires got involved, and everybody was like, "You make computers."
Sick people make rich people.
But I completely think that there should be, or not that there should be, but that there can be billionaires because Steve Jobs, Bill Gates,
Oh,
Jeff Bezos. Am I right?
Politico EU. Meet the world's most powerful doctor, Bill Gates.
Fucking told you.
Is he a doctor?
No, it's because he's involved in all the medical shit.
The software mogul's sway over the World Health Organization, which is a sham, spurs criticism about misplaced priorities and undue influence.
That's weird.
He's not a doctor.
That's my point.
He's not a doctor. He didn't even finish college.
Neither was that person that checked my prostate.
I mean, you probably should have figured that out when you were behind a Denny's.
They had gloves on.
And
at
she
least.
didn't take her nails off.
Okay, gloves,
They were poking through the gloves.
gloves with the studs on the knuckles. I don't think.
Oh,
those
they
are
were
medical
fingerless gloves. Damn it.
She's in a baka gang. Anyway, so billionaires.
Are you sure it was actually a woman?
He said anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, but you've already got them beat because all your anyway.
How many more? No, I'm just kidding.
so
It's hard to find the word to say. Yeah.
choose my words wisely. A lot of people say that there should be no billionaires whatsoever because they say they cheat the system, which they're
Because the system is set up.
Yeah.
If the system was set up for you and me to cheat, we would.
Yep, everybody would.
Sorry.
But
That's how,
how
it
they're
works.
always talking about how poor let's face it, how poor white people are always saying that billionaires are the problem.
It's not poor white people that say billionaires are the problem. Let me tell you who it is.
Be careful, be careful, careful.
No.
We're
It's
already
these-
talking about it.
it's-
Clay, relax.
It's
Poor people.
woke limousine liberals. These are people who were born into the middle and upper classes
Must
who
be
have
nice.
nothing else to do with their lives.
Soft times.
It would have nothing else to do with their
Soft
lives
men.
except for, oh, I'm going to throw myself into activism. And therefore, oh, billionaires are the problem. When they turn around and they go, money please.
So
You know, people have actually said that I'm part of the problem because I haven't gone to protests and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm working.
mhm.
Yeah,
I'm going to jobs.
But you're in theater, so is it really
don't
a job?
don't stray the fucking point.
no, it's not theater. It's theater. I can't even say
Theater.
it. Oh my
It's
God.
off Broadway.
Theater. It's so far off. It's
Theater.
not even in the same state.
All right,
There's
you know
not
what?
even a Broadway street in
Is that a
Springfield.
Sharpie?
Yeah, they're
You
just
hit me in
sitting-
the head with a Sharpie.
Yeah,
Sharp.
they're just sitting right here.
It was pretty dull.
But so I think that billionaires are fine because everybody always freaks out about how no one should have that much money, but they took the risk.
Hold on.
Amazon and all that. I mean, all these companies started on the bottom. Most of them have gone bankrupt more than once.
Let me add to
They
that.
Bailed
take
out.
the risk they get the rewards. I don't
Yeah.
understand why everybody freaks out whenever
add-
I
one
do
of these
think it's funny when
companies-
people talk about owners making more than everybody, and it's that exact thing right there.
they
He's
have
like,
all the risk on
Mhm.
their shoulders.
Yeah.
Here, let me.
But you're working there in a job that you were provided all the tools. Okay, if you want to make this, go find the customers, go find the machinery, go find this, that, and this, and then maybe you'll make the money that I make.
So let me add to that. It's not just billionaires. If you were a billionaire just because you made smart financial decisions on like the stock market or you played the
Mhm.
game, that's different. But if you create a product, if you create a service, like as much as
Amazon.
I don't like Bezos as a person, he has created so many jobs,
Yeah.
so many opportunities. I have made easily $4,000 or $5,000 doing just deliveries in the
Yes.
last 3 months
Mhm.
on the weekends.
Saved
Just on the
it,
weekends.
honestly, I'm not gonna say you guys were struggling, but it probably saved you guys
It has
your job.
It saved my butt, especially when I was off for 15 days for COVID protocol. Even though I didn't have COVID, I had stomach bug. I had like nausea and stuff. So like they're like 5 days for each time. I was like okay. So I
Achoo! Go
so
home.
just
Go
this
home.
Well, it's like whenever
just this past weekend, in 5 days, in less than 25 hours, I made $1,000. So that's
crazy.
almost $40 an hour.
yeah, but you're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
The thing is that people don't want to do the work; they want it to be handed to them.
And easy.
Because most of the time, this is a huge issue I see with working in the schools, is that ever since COVID happened, in elementary schools now, at least in this district, you're during lunch. Alaric's got a big grin on
Oh,
his
no.
face. Over
I don't
there.
know about this. so
Why?
let's hear it.
Because your son is in elementary school?
Oh, I'm very upset with the school district and the state of Ohio.
Continue.
Well, one of the things that they do that I'm noticing is that at lunch, it depends on the school, but we have 6 schools in this district and how many elementary schools? I think 4. 3 out of 4 do it. Is the kids are no longer allowed. They won't they say it's because of COVID. It doesn't make any fucking sense because they're still in school with these masks, but these kids aren't wearing the mask
2
properly.
words. Teachers unions.
No, this is about lunch.
Lunch.
You'll
Okay.
see in a second.
Sorry.
In the cafeteria, they're not allowed to get up to throw their stuff away because they say it's too much of like them interacting with each other, even though they're all sitting one fucking next to the other. So now you've got these 8 and 9-year-olds that call you over and say, "I'm done. Take it."
Oh no!
That's what I'm is because
entitled
now
brats
we
now.
are training these children to expect to be coddled and taken care of. Now, middle
So
school,
infuriating.
middle school, high school, all that, they get up and they throw their own shit away.
Dylan walks over. You fucking little piece of shit. I'll get
Hits
you
him with
next
the
week,
tray.
Carl.
Like with the
that one not breathing?
elementary kids, I don't mind. They call you over all the time, but it used to be for stuff like they couldn't get something open. They, like you have like a sauce packet, they can't get it.
or like a Yoo-Hoo or
a
something.
Yoo-Hoo, a milk, a bottle, anything like that. That's fine because they're kids. They can't open everything.
Speaking of
So-
which, how hard were those freaking old little chocolate milk cartons back in the
Yes,
day?
where you had
so
to
hard
pop
to
it
get them
open.
open. You're like, and then
I got
starts,
strawberry.
it starts bending, and you're like,
I had a girl the other day call me over. She had 6 holes in her Capri Sun. She's like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
she flipped it over. And
She
tried
is going to
stab
be
it
a
as
really
fast
good
as-
murderer one
She just
day.
kept stabbing it through the back, and she was legit like, "I need help." And I come up, but you get these other kids that will call you over, and I literally have had multiple kids be like, "I'm done," and they'll do like that little like shoe gesture,
Oh, God.
and I'm like, "Listen here, Timothy, listen up, mother." I'm like,
Why did you have to say that?
Timothy?
Timothy? I don't know.
Rapist bastard.
But just kids in general, and then the other people in the cafeteria are like, "Just take it, it's easier." And I'm like, "You're missing the fucking point." I'm like, "Yeah, it might be easier for this 25-minute lunch session."
Training them.
I'm like, "But you're not there is no point in children going to school anymore."
Anymore?
Everything is taught on a computer or out of a book.
You can learn more just on Google than you ever would.
You
in
are
school.
not allowed to punish kids anymore, so they don't learn discipline. They don't learn social skills anymore because you're trying to keep them away from each other.
They no longer understand if it isn't the consequences of my actions.
They don't get any consequences.
No, we have a kid.
And you can't punish them because
Yeah.
if you punish
You're
them,
not allowed to yell
then
at them?
you are. They got rid of the green chairs. That says everything.
Yeah, at our
we
elementary school.
used to have these chairs. They were like stadium seats outside of the principal's office. You
was
were
like a
sent
perp
there
walk.
for discipline, and you had to. And the principal would make you wait, so everybody who walked by knew
It
you were in
was
trouble.
the shame train. You basically just
Pretty
sat
much.
there, and anybody walked by, you're like,
Mhm.
"What'd you do, man?" Oh,
I was
you
in
know,
it. I was in it one time. That's it.
I licked.
And I
too.
I licked the
never,
doorknob, man.
I never wanted to go back.
I have a story that my brother told me about the green chairs. He was in the green chairs once, and he
You gotta-
was sitting
you
there,
gotta pump those numbers up, man.
and there was a kid running by in the hallway, and he said he turns his head to look at Clint, and he just throws up on the floor. But wait, and he said it was directly in front of him, and it was Cocoa Puffs, and he said after that I've never ate Cocoa Puffs, and after him telling that to me, he's like, dude, it looked like he just took the bowl of cereal and spilled it in front of me. He's like, did you chew your food? What the fuck?
He was in
He
elementary
was
school,
running
probably
away
not.
from like the lunchroom. He was like, he just kept running. He said he never stopped. He just went back to his class.
It's just a line of vomit, Cocoa
He
Puffs
said
all
it
over
was
the
like
floor.
somebody spilled a bowl of cereal.
And then you get that one kid coming down the hall going, "Ooh, piece of candy."
Oh no!
I was raised by a golden retriever.
But no, those disciplinary chairs, the green chairs, were then
It's
removed.
a death sentence if you got this.
They were removed and they were replaced with other chairs, but they no longer referred to them as green chairs. And they were
Well,
removed.
are they green still?
I don't know what
Probably
they are.
not.
But they're
Green's-
but they're
Green
no
is
longer,
too scary.
they're
It's
no
too
longer
oppressive.
disciplinary. And they told me that they were removed because it was deemed by the parents
Oh my god!
and then by the school board.
Soft times,
Mm-hmm. Make
soft penises.
good times make soft men.
No. This is the actual quote that they told me. They said it was deemed too humiliating to the children.
That's the point.
That is the fucking
Humiliate them
point.
into being good. I never went after that. I was like, dude,
And
this
let's be
sucks.
real. The humiliation factor on a scale of 1 to 10 was like a 1.5.
And then the
It's like
teachers would walk by and go, "What did you do?" And you're
Right.
like,
You just got hazed a little bit, but
it
was
wasn't even hazing. It's like if you took a very light teasing, like, "Hey Dylan, nice Bosley," and then took that 4 steps down. That's what the type of stuff you'd get. Like, "Hey
It's not
man,
like
you
saying-
got 2 different socks on." Like that's the kind of humiliation.
It's not
we're
like
talking.
saying, "Hey, ass hair."
Why?
Love, look,
Why?
Dylan has ass hair.
Why
on his
is
head.
what is happening?
Dylan has ass hair on his head.
I
I'd
thought
like
it was
everybody
ball
to-
hair though.
Nope, ass.
It'd be
Because
curlier
Dylan's-
if it was
That's
ass
worse.
hair.
I thought you said it was from your ass. Where'd they take it from?
It's from the back of my head.
From
you
his
fucking
nipples.
moron. It's from my nipples.
It's nipple
No,
hair.
he's still got hair there. I tasted
They
it the other
plucked
night.
them and put them right back in.
Wow.
I'd say we love you, but I doubt you'd believe us.
I'm sorry.
So discipline. Discipline.
Why?
You need to
Always
learn-
going back
you
to
need
Tokyo
to
Drift.
learn a discipline.
I'm going to Hothead, and I'm going to apologize for your actions. I'm going to Hothead after this, just to let everybody know.
Tell that little bitch to make a better burrito.
You're coming with me, and I'm going to say
we'll
to
get
this
Subway while
man.
you get hothead.
Do what?
We'll get Subway while you get hothead.
All right, whatever.
But anyway,
Subway's
so
gross.
that was taken out. Also, with these kids nowadays, now my mom works in the behavioral and disabled class
Your mother
at one of the
is a
schools.
saint.
Yes, she is.
She's. I know.
She punted a kid across the room.
I know she doesn't listen to this. She said she might start listening. So if this is the episode, hi mom.
Hi.
But
Hi, Tina.
I'm only
Hi,
spilling your
Tina.
secrets to like 26 listeners. So if that. Anyway, she's almost at her wit's end
Mhm.
because they're in behavioral class and they're in the handicap class. Now, you don't have a lot. Well, one, they're not allowed to do anything. They literally had a kid who has this mental thing, and there's a whole backstory for it that's a tragic backstory that I'm not going to get into.
Mhm.
He's lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
So he's got mental issues, but he's incredibly violent.
Mm.
And they're not allowed to do anything. He stabbed people in school with pencils. He punched teachers. And if they touch him,
Fired.
they're fired and there's a lawsuit. Imagine getting stabbed and then saying, "Do you want to keep your job?" Like, I would be fired. I told her, I'm just a sub over
So
there.
listen.
I'm like, if somebody stabs me, I don't care if I'm in an elderly home or if I'm in an elementary school. If somebody stabs me, it is my reflex to donkey kick. So,
This
Wait, but if
reminds
they
me.
stab you in the front, you're gonna kick the guy behind you.
This
well,
reminds me of when we were
collateral damage.
right towards the end. No, it was in high school, just all of high school. It was right when they started to do that like no tolerance thing. But they said if you fight back at all,
You get the same
you
punishment.
get the same punishment.
Where the fuck did that
Which
come
is
from?
where that is definitely wrong. It should be if you don't start it, but you should finish it, right? Like,
We have cameras
I'm sorry,
in
but
every
it's
corner of
self-defense. If
these
someone-
buildings now.
If someone comes up and starts beating up on me, I'm going to retaliate.
Yeah,
honestly,
You don't just sit there and take it. That right there is what makes soft people.
if my son ever gets suspended from school for standing up for someone else or for himself, I am taking that boy out for ice cream.
No, that was my parents. They said, Dylan, they said, we don't care what the school does. If someone starts it, you have our permission to finish it. And I did twice.
Pulls out a shift.
Oh my god!
I finished it twice.
He'll never hurt anybody again.
Slits their throat. Everybody's
I
like,
got
"What is
him-
going on?"
I got in trouble on the bus for knocking that girl over.
What? Dylan, you're not supposed to hit a girl.
When they have it on camera that she was this was in middle school. I was like 6th and she was 8th. She would just smack the hell out of people.
Oh, I remember this.
I'm not going to say her name because she's a person.
Mouth it to me. Mouth it to me.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
get
know
that.
who that is.
Okay, well, I'll tell you the name
you say-
afterwards.
Jew? Just kidding.
Always back to
Always
1944.
back to
Why?
I know what Dylan's
Anyway.
all about.
Anyway, so she was a girl, and she always thought, you can't hit me, I'm a girl. So any of the younger guys, she would I would come home, and my mom would be like, what happened? Because there would be red marks on my face.
Smacking the shit out of you.
And they went into the bus garage multiple times, and they were like, you have a fucking camera on the bus. They're like, why is nobody doing anything about this? And then my mom told them, she's like, just so you know, my son has permission to knock the fuck out of that girl if she touches him again.
Mhm.
She did it one more time.
Thinking in this context of us being like
Yep.
8 years old, hearing you say that your mom said he has the right to knock the fuck out of her, it like takes me back, and I'm just like, but Tina's an angel. She would never say such strong words.
Don't mess with Mama Bear's cub. But this was middle school, and I didn't hit her, but I remember she hit me one time, and I tripped her, but I had the foot out, and I knocked her in the back. She went down. I don't know if she hit her head on the, if
said,
she hit her
"Yeet."
face on the ground or not. They wanted to punish me. Nothing happened because it was all on camera. It took my retaliation for them to pull up the footage.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, she hits him every day."
Mhm.
And we're like, "No fucking I don't know."
Just be glad your mom gave you permission to trip the shit out of her, and it didn't just keep building up over 10 years.
She
She
never
said, "End her."
No, this was a thing that it was months of like I would come home with these marks on my face, and I was like, "She's a woman," and my mom was like, "I don't care anymore."
It's better than
She's
marks
like,
on your neck, right?
Heyo.
That's a different kind of.
What is happening to you? You got bruises all over your
Dylan's
neck.
over there
Mom.
like,
No, these
here.
doorknobs are coming out of nowhere.
Mom,
You just
what
hear-
can I say? I'm very popular in the locker room.
Here. Dylan's
I-
like, I'm done.
I completely think I don't care what gender you are compared to the other one. I think because now there's 700 of them. So
Equality of outcome, baby. You slap me, I'll slap the shit out of you.
I was in one of the schools yesterday and I saw a teacher had this up on their wall and I wish that they would enforce it. It said, "You have the right to make a choice. However, you do not have the right to," or what was it? "You have the right to make a choice. However, you don't have the right to avoid consequences for your choice."
And yet nobody enforces
Nobody
these things.
stands up for that shit anymore. I'm like, this is America. We have freedom of speech. We can make our own stuff. But
Right.
there are consequences.
A lot of
There.
consequences that people don't think that there is, and then
I
they
don't
just say
think-
shit because they think there is no consequence.
I don't
And-
think there should be consequences for speech.
Here's where social media
unless
comes
it
in handy.
induces a threat.
Here's where massive online social media comes into play, right? So over the last decade, we have basically generalized or normalized the idea of yelling at people, but not to their face. Because if you go and yell at somebody in their face, you're gonna get decked,
People have never
Or-
been hit ever for anything.
and they
that
they
is
are
why.
not afraid to yell and speak their mind in quotation marks because they fear no retaliation, because the worst thing that somebody else can say is, "Oh, you're fat too." Like, but if you get up in somebody's face and start yelling about their oppression or you're bullying me, like, bro, I'm sitting here minding my own business and you came and started yelling in my face,
Consequences.
you're gonna get decked.
But the legal system nowadays is you can't touch another human unless you can prove scientifically that they are trying to kill you and your entire family.
That's why you always have your crew with you to be witnesses.
True.
Be like, "She pushed me, bro." "Yeah, man, I saw it.
I don't know. I think definitely self-defense is like number one. It should be a priority instead of just saying, you can't do anything about it. If
you
someone
start-
hits you or something,
So
I
if
think
you start
should be able to.
if you
react
start
on
treating all forms of violence like the aggressive form of violence, you're gonna start getting a lot more aggressive violence, because when you consider people defending themselves to be aggressors,
Now-
that's when shit gets
No.
really really rough.
Now, are we talking like 1940s aggressive,
What the fuck, Clay?
or just kidding?
Where you going with this, Clay?
I was just joking. Dylan's not. Dylan's look at the smile and the happiness on his face about that.
If we had a camera, he's grinning ear to ear. And what is with that creepy smile there, Dylan?
Dylan, put your pants back on.
I am now taking out a chainsaw.
I'm cutting Phyllis's head off. Oh,
Put your muzzle back on.
Jim Carrey just walked in. Get his autograph.
what are you doing, Dwight?
brother?
To our office fans out there.
So, yep. I think for sure that self-defense, really, like I said,
Well, there are cameras everywhere nowadays, and especially in these schools. I mean,
should
there's
not
one in,
be punished for self-defense.
there's one in every
ever.
corner. But the thing is that they don't use them.
No.
They use those cameras in the school more to check on their workers to make sure they're working than they will before they play back a fight.
Yeah.
If I'm working in the school, if a kid comes up and stabs me,
Mhm.
and I turn around and tackle said kid, and
Stab him repeatedly.
I told you, he pulls out the shit.
Over retaliate a
Never
little bit.
again.
It was a number 2 pencil.
well, okay, this is probably going to be really fucked up, but this is the world that we live in nowadays.
Boy, here we go.
I
At
went
the end of
into
the
work.
podcast.
I went into work on December 17th.
Mhm.
It's a Friday. Did not know until I got there that it was that trending national shoot up your school day.
I remember you telling me that.
Now, I was in my room for most of the day because I didn't know it was a thing. And I know that these kids are not stable, and I know that there's no punishment for their actions. So I was like, I'm not getting shot by some 5th grader who got into his daddy's Foot Locker. I was like, so I was in my room, locked it and all that. If there was a incident that
You
had
had to
happened.
sacrifice one, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Not where I was going at all. I was saying if there was one where something happened, now I can't prove this, this is just a theory with the way that everything is. I bet if I tackled a kid who had a weapon and I knocked said kid out, I would be fired and there would be lawsuits against me in the school.
Yeah, but then you could turn around and sue them back. That's wrongful cause.
But my point is that the fact
it's a thing that can happen.
Yes, it is a
It's
thing
very
that can
sad
happen.
that is something.
That's
we
the thing
can
is
say
that when
will
you
happen.
have a fucking weapon.
Segue.
And I mean, I'd be like, never mind.
Segue. This is why I believe teachers who have their CCWs should be
carry.
allowed to carry in schools.
I support that.
Because you don't need to have resource officers because even they don't have guns when they're on the school grounds, which is stupid.
My thing is,
But
is
The
there-
high school,
with
the high
the
school has an
supposed-
officer.
Even though statistically speaking, school shootings and mass events like that have actually just stagnated in the amount, but the only reason it seems like they've really had an uptick is the amount of coverage that's been given to them in the last decade or two. With the heightened
there was
emotions that
definitely
everybody
a lot
has,
there
right?
for a while.
With how much has been brought to light, teachers need to be able to defend themselves and their students because at the end of the day, they're there to work with our kids. They're there to protect them, show them the way to be the next generation, right? That's the whole idea. But if their whole thing is just run away, you need to be able to defend yourself, protect yourself, because villains, bad people, criminals, they do not follow the rules.
Yeah, they're
So
criminals.
we need to change the rules to allow law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. Yeah. So I'm not saying you give every single teacher a gun because that's really dumb. Because you need to teachers who have
training.
CCWs, have training, do 6-month, bi-yearly, or twice-a-year trainings to make sure they're up to date. Just like you do with CPR and everything, teachers need to be, if they want to, they can opt into it.
Do like a training.
Yeah.
Have
the
training
ability,
for a school shooting and to take down the subject,
Have the ability to have, and then when the situation does arise, give them something they can put on that gives them high visibility for when law enforcement does show up and they're not just seeing a random man with a gun or woman with a gun. So
they could put like a little orange tip on the gun. Sorry, I had to make it a little laugh.
But teachers who are trained need to have the ability to defend themselves and their students. I'm tired of this always giving the assailant the upper hand.
It's not even just teachers. It's just if you want to defend yourself, you can defend yourself. No one should ever have to put...
Well, I mean, if we're talking in a school situation, kids aren't going to be able to
No.
legally defend themselves.
But I mean, just like
at
everybody, nobody in a daily situation should have to think about the future repercussions when self-defense is in line.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Like,
that's how the world
whenever
is.
if you get attacked or something like that, you should not be worried about what your repercussions are going to be for...
Say if you're holding a hot coffee
retaliating.
and someone comes up to rob you and you threw the hot coffee in their face and they get burnt and they go and sue you. That should never, ever even be a scenario that anybody could come up with. But that is something that would probably happen. There was a shooting at
Oh,
a
boy.
Dollar... Okay, this will be a quick one. So here in Dayton, Ohio, there is a Dollar General that got robbed at gunpoint. The dollar store employee had a CCW,
I remember this.
and he shot and took the guy's life.
And the family of
And they
the
said
robber was in
he-
outrage.
All he was trying to do was stealing, is what she said. I need to find the video. See if you can find the video. I'm being totally serious. Hold on. There is a video out there of
We'll find it for the next segment.
She goes, he was just trying to steal. He didn't need to shoot him. And plus, why does the employee have a gun anyway? He should
Didn't
just
the
let him
brother-
steal.
Didn't the
I
brother
was
have a
like,
weapon?
What? Yes, he
Yeah,
was
he
aiming
did.
it at the guy, and the guy just said, "Not today, motherfucker," and shot
Somebody
him.
call me an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I heard this recently. I don't remember who said it, so I can't properly quote it. But somebody said a thing where they were talking about. They said back in the day, you could be in the bank with 30 people. Somebody could walk in the door, hold up a gun, and say, "Everybody on the floor," and you got on the floor. He said, now imagine if someone walked in the door, held up a gun, said, "Everybody on the floor," and 30 guns pulled out and turned towards him and said, "No, you get on the floor." Like, it doesn't have to be, I don't know.
The idea needs to be, you should always think everybody else is armed, which is why there is a town, I think in Oklahoma or something, but there's a town where it's by law everyone is required to have a gun. Every citizen 18 or older is required to have a gun, and so you don't know if who's carrying
Who's
who
gonna
isn't,
yeah, who's gonna
because let's be real, an armed society is a polite society.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
People think that just because guns can do damage, that everybody with a gun will do damage.
Look at the old West and all that. Like, everybody had a pistol on their hip.
Mhm.
There
You talk
were-
shit, you die.
There were criminals,
People die at the
just
fair.
like there are now. But
We
it's
need to
like
bring back dueling. I'm not saying to the death, but we need to bring back dueling
I do.
with some
Well,
some
I
unit-
do.
dueling is something where you
mutual
agree.
combat. We need
Yeah.
to bring back mutual combat. Once you're on the ground, you got to stop.
Mhm.
But as long as both parties are standing up, they can just wail on each other.
Yeah, I wouldn't say to the death.
Boxing
but-
rules.
Yeah, it's like but I don't
People
know.
just don't get slapped in the face anymore. People have never been punched.
Yeah, people don't get hit. That's
People
the thing.
don't get hit, and that's why they say this stupid shit. So
Well,
that was a
this
depressing
was-
podcast. We are
this was a-
sorry.
this was an
We
interesting one.
normally-
this
That was
one was this was a different style that we went with.
This one
However,
more serious with a little bit hint of funny.
yeah, if you like said style, comment down below
Hey.
and let us know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and
hit that bell notification.
3 easy steps.
3
and
easy steps.
don't forget, everybody, go over to our channel, Truffle Shuffle, on YouTube, and you will find different playlists. We will be having our random shit from the internet because that's one where you actually want to watch it,
We're
not
also-
just listen.
I'm also going to hopefully talk Alaric into getting onto Phasmophobia and trying to
What?
play a little bit of Phasmophobia.
What?
Dylan can't play because
What is that?
It's
Dylan
a PC
gets
game.
scared easy.
It's a very scary game that you
hell
have
no.
in-game audio.
Hell
If he's
no.
upstairs, I can barely hear him. So it is hilarious. 'cause you can,
Proximity chat.
yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, hell no. I
So-
played 5 minutes of
So it's as if
Outlast.
I was trying to talk to you while you were
Hey,
upstairs.
do you have it on there?
I don't have it.
You don't have it yet? Okay.
But
Oh, hell no. To the
But,
No,
no,
no. We'll get
make
a
sure you
copy.
guys hit us up on our Twitter, or TikTok, or Instagram.
Fatboy937.
Fatboy
If you're
937.
still listening, if you're listening, make yourself known. Don't tell us who you are. Just another hint. Because we will find you.
with hard cocks.